It's close to 40 days now since Israel launched its offensive against Hamas, and today they claimed a massive win against the terror organization by capturing both its parliament and its military police headquarters. Israeli government has released pictures of its soldiers from the Golani Brigade waving the Israeli and brigade flags inside the police headquarters in Gaza City. A similar picture was also released of the soldiers inside the Gaza parliament, located at the Omar al-Mukhtar street, right in the heart of Gaza. Israel says that this is enough proof that Hamas has now lost control over Gaza City. In fact, the country's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, said that there is no force of Hamas that's capable of stopping the IDF. And with the army's advance, terrorists are now fleeing south, and civilians are now down to looting Hamas bases since they have no confidence in their government. But the IDF's focus is not on the Hamas's terror infrastructure alone. Their crackdown on hospitals has drawn outraged cries from Doctors Without Borders, UN and Amnesty. In the last 1 month, several hospitals have been in the Israeli army's crosshairs. The IDF says that this is because hospitals are being used as fronts by the Hamas. These include the Rantissi Children's Hospital, where Israel claims to have unearthed tunnels and underground chambers where weapons and getaway vehicles were stored, and even people were kept as hostages. In fact, here is a report that the IDF has released from within the Rantissi Children's Hospital.
Went to the hospital with a video camera and personally documented more concrete evidence. The concrete evidence are that Hamas uses hospitals as an instrument of war. Underneath the hospital, in the basement, we found a Hamas command and control center, suicide bomb vests, grenades, AK-47 assault rifles, explosive devices, RPGs and other weapons, computers, money, etc. And we also found signs that indicate that Hamas held hostages here. This is currently under our investigation, but we also have intelligence that verifies it. Additionally, we found evidence that Hamas terrorists came back from the massacre on October 7th to this hospital, among others, after butchering Israelis in their homes, executing the innocent, murdering entire families, burning babies, burning young women alive, and uses this children's hospital, Rantissi, to hide.
I'm here in Gaza City. We are here next to a house of a terrorist. This is one of the senior terrorists who is the head of the operational naval operations that led the raids into Israel. His house is right next to a school. His house is 200 yards from the hospital of Rantissi. Next to his house, there is a tunnel. It's built with electricity. We first saw the solar panels, then the electricity goes here, and it goes down directly to the tunnel. Now you can see the tunnel. You can see the tunnel. We're now entering into the area of the hospital. I want to show you a room where we found all the gear, the operational gear of Hamas. Hamas is using hospitals, like we showed the evidence in Shifa Hospital, in other hospitals.
In fact, there are a number of hospitals which have been in the crosshairs of the IDF. The Shifa Hospital in the north, where the IDF claims that Hamas has built its control center, hosting the organization's leadership. They also released a 3D animation to this effect, which they claimed was based on intel. In fact, last week also saw heavy fighting outside the Al-Quds Hospital, in which 21 people were killed. Israel claims that those killed were Hamas terrorists who are firing at Israeli soldiers from within and around the hospital. In fact, let's look at the claims of the Al-Quds Hospital now. This is the Rantissi Children's Hospital. If we move on, we'll also talk about the Shifa Hospital and the Al-Quds Hospital, both of which have also seen shelling in the recent past. In fact, the IDF has now released a video showing a man firing an RPG at Israeli soldiers from the entrance of the hospital and then running inside. Let's take a look, in fact, at what this video actually claims to show. So this is the Al-Quds Hospital, outside which firing took place 3 days ago, and now The IDF claims that here is a man who is holding an RPG launcher, and they say that he had fired it at one of the Israeli tanks, and then he disappears inside the Al-Quds hospital. So that essentially is the claim, that there are people who are sheltering inside, there are Hamas terrorists who are sheltering inside, they come out onto the street, fire at the IDF, and immediately take shelter inside the hospital again.